finally filming this video. You see my son in the background. He'll probably be bopping around here. He also has a dirty face, so just ignore that. I haven't wiped it. So as you can see by the title, today I'm going to be talking about how I got my son to sleep like an angel. He sleeps, so right now he is 2.5, he's almost 3. He'll be 3 in May, so just a few months. And right now he goes to bed at 7 p.m. and he wakes up around 10, sometimes even close to 11. So over 12 hours every night. Doesn't wake up in the middle of the night. Occasionally, sometimes he will, but he just talks to himself and falls back asleep. So I want to also make this clear that I've been working with him obviously since he was born. So I'm not gonna tell you that if you do this, like whatever I say, that your toddler is gonna sleep 12 hours. He's been on a super strict routine since he was an infant. So if you're having, if you plan on having more kids, I plan on doing this with my future kids. But also I think I'm very, very just lucky. I think I just have a kid that loves his sleep, and I know some kids literally you can do anything and they won't sleep. So I'm not gonna say that this is magically gonna make your kid sleep. This is just me telling you what I did with him. So when he was born, he slept next to me in a little bassinet thing, and it was a rock and play, and that was for about the first 2 months. I was nursing. I nursed him up until he was a year old. So the first like 2-3 months he was in a rock and play next to my bed, and then I decided I wanted to move him into his crib. Now I know that's really, really early. He was still, a newborn. He was like 3.5 months, I would say, old when I moved him to his crib in his own room. So what I did is I had a video monitor, which I think is super important. I can't remember the first one that I had. It was just like one of those regular ones you can get, and it had like a little screen on it, and I just had it next to my bed, like on full blast, the volume. Now we have a Nest Cam. Now that he's a toddler, I'm not like super worried about him at night. So it sends you notifications, but and you can like look at him on your phone, like it's like a Wi-Fi one. So we use that now, but we just had like a basic video monitor, and we put that in his room. And what I did was I would sit in my rocking chair. I had a big like recliner rocking chair, and I would nurse him. So okay, pause. Before I even did that, every single night at the same exact time, I can't remember now, back then, I want to say it was like around 7, I would give him a bath. Every single night I gave him a bath when he was a baby, even if it was really, really quick, just getting some warm water on him. And it's all about the routine. So I had a super strict routine. Like, you could not break me of my kid's routine. Like, no matter what, I was like, okay, I have to be home by 7 because Weston needs a bath. Like, I was very, very strict about it, and I think that was really helpful. Kids need routine. It's just so important. And I know a lot of parents, like bed share and kind of like put their kids to bed whenever they go to bed, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm not bashing any moms that do that. This is just what I did and what worked for me. I think routine is super important, and I personally couldn't bed share because I like to spread out. I like to put my kid to bed and then like relax for the whole night. I'm sure you could do that with bed sharing. I don't really know how bed sharing works, but I just can't picture sharing a bed with him. I think I'd lose my mind, but I commend all those moms who do. So anyways, I would give him a bath at the exact same time. I would take him out, put some lotion on him, give him a little lotion massage, put fresh diaper, fresh PJs on, and then I would sit in my recliner chair and nurse him. And so I'd nurse him to sleep. He'd fall asleep. And this is when I first started. This is what I did. So I'd pick him up, lay him in his crib like a time bomb. You're like, because they always wake up and cry. And then I would leave. I also had a little Einstein's crib soother, which he still uses to this day, and a sound machine. So I'll link both of those down below in the description box. But they were, the little Einstein's crib soother is just amazing. It literally, he would just lay there and look at it. Best thing I ever bought. Like I said, he still uses it. So then I would lay him down while he was sleeping, and I would leave, and I'd go sit down After about 30 seconds, he'd start crying. I'd go in there, I would pick him up, sit straight back in the chair, nurse him again, and you can rock them or give him a bottle if you're not nursing. Nurse him again, he'd fall back asleep. I'd put him back, leave, do the same thing until he fell asleep. And some nights I would literally want to rip my hair out. Like my husband would be like, are you okay? Because I would literally get so frustrated. Like sometimes this went on for like hours, to where he would start crying, I'd go right in, nurse him again, or rock him, put him back down, go back, nurse him again, put him back down for hours. Because I don't personally believe in the cried out method. It's just not for me as a mom. I think, you know, whatever works for you as a mom, that's what you should do. Just for me, I couldn't do it. So I would just go back in, and some people might say that that's spoiling him, but it worked. Obviously, he sleeps like amazing, so it's just what worked for me. So for the first, I would say the first week, sorry, my left contact is bugging me, so if you see me like going like this, that's why. So like the first week was really hard. Like it was hours and hours where I'd be like, oh my god, just go to sleep. Eventually, I think in his mind, he realized like, okay, it's bedtime. She's not gonna take me out of this room. Like she's just gonna keep putting me back in my crib, so I'm just gonna fall asleep. I don't know, that's just what I think. So he did eventually realize like, okay, when she puts me down, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And he would start going to sleep. So for the first few months when he was still a baby, he would wake up in the middle of the night one time, maybe 2 times on a rare occasion to nurse. So I'd hear him on the baby monitor, I'd go in, nurse him, put him right back. And that's just what I did. And I did that for, you know, months. And he was swaddled, but not his arms. So I would just swaddle his lower half because he didn't like his arms swaddled in. So whatever your baby prefers, but the swaddles were, I think, really good for when he was like a little baby. And I'll add some pictures here and there of his cute little nugget self. So yeah, that's what I did. And he also would nap twice a day. So I do the same thing for naps. So I can't remember exactly. I mean, this is almost 3 years ago now. So I think he would wake up around like 8 a.m. and then he would go down, I think around 11 for like an hour or 2. He was actually a really good napper too. Sometimes he'd nap for like 3 hours. And then wake up, and then he'd nap again like a few hours later, wake up, and then we'd usually, I think we put him to bed around 8, I want to say, when he was that old, because he was napping twice a day. Sorry, my dog is like barking at everything right now. And then as he got older, he went down to 1 nap a day. Again, I can't remember exactly how old he was. I want to say like 1.5 or 1 is when he switched to 1 nap a day. And now he doesn't nap at all, because now he goes to bed at 7 o'clock, like I said. So he goes to bed pretty early, but that's what I like, because I like to have my whole night to myself. Call me selfish, whatever. Sometimes he will, like, I put him in his bed and he will just lay in there and play with the stuffed animals and just talk to himself for like an hour. He never gets out of his bed. Like, he knows not to get out of his bed. Whenever we switched him to a toddler bed, he was like 2. He had just turned 2, I believe, and because he started climbing out of his crib. So, hey. Hi. Okay, bye. 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 Love you. He started climbing out of his crib, so we decided we wanted to switch him. And his first night in his big boy bed, he did not get out of his bed one time. Like, he just laid in there the whole night and slept. I never had a problem with him getting out of bed or anything like that. So I honestly, that's what I think. I'm partially just really lucky. I don't know. It seems like too easy to me. Like, it just all was so easy. I believe that I'll be cursed with my next child. Probably won't let me sleep at all. Probably will be a devil child. But my first kid was definitely the best sleeper. Like, I was super, super blessed. It's just coming and taking his toys. Okay, so I just asked on my Instagram if anyone had any questions, like specific questions about my son. Okay, water here. If anyone had any specific questions about my son, so I'm gonna read some of those off and answer those. Somebody asked, does he take any daily vitamins? I heard they help kids sleep better. He does not take vitamins, but I'm literally gonna get off this and go order some vitamins. I was just thinking, like, he probably should be taking some vitamins, but no, he doesn't take any vitamins. Somebody asked, just curious, do you think it'll be hard to get him on a schedule of waking up earlier once he starts school? He's pretty Although he is on like a really, I would say, strict routine, he does adapt well to change. Maybe even putting him to bed a little earlier, he'll wake up a little earlier. Also, he wakes up always in a good mood if we do have to wake him up, like if he's sleeping way too late. He's never really like super cranky or anything, so I don't think it'll be a huge problem. Somebody asked, has he ever went through a sleep regression? So although he was a pretty good baby, yes, he had sleep regressions just like any kid. There was like certain points in time when he hit certain milestones. I think when he was like 6 months he had one when he was a year, but not long. Like it was just a few nights where he was like, you know, up more in the middle of the night, but not to where he was crying. He would just wake up and kind of soothe himself and turn on his little soother or talk to himself. He's never been one to like wake up screaming and like I have to get up and go in there. Like I've been very lucky to where he's very good at soothing himself, and I think that's part of like what I taught him when I would keep putting him back in there, because you know, he would be nursed back to sleep, but if I put him back in there, you know, for like the last time, he would be awake, but he would just turn on his soother or watch his soother and soothe himself back to sleep without crying. So your kid can self-soothe without having to use the crying out method. Like I said, if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But I think I did really help him, you know, learn how to self-soothe. And I think that crib soother was the best freaking thing I ever bought. So like I said, I'll put that in the description box. Somebody said, how do I break my child from sleeping with me, 10 months old? That's really, really hard, and that's why I moved him so early, because I did not want him to sleep with me all the way until he was like 2. Like that's why I can't do bed sharing. I know some parents love it. I can't imagine it. I literally can't. So honestly, my best advice would just be to get them in a routine. Like I said, give him a bath, or her, I don't know if it's him or her, give them a bath, you know, get them comfortable in their new room, put them in their crib when they're awake, just let them like, you know, see. And like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really, really hard, and you're going to have to be very, very patient, and you're probably going to have to go in and out, in and out. And like I said, it's up to you if you want to use whatever method you want to use, but for me, I would just put my baby down, leave, start crying, go back in, rock him back to sleep, put him back. It takes a lot of consistency, and even though some parents don't want to hear that, you know, some parents would rather just put their kid in there and let them cry, and you know, that works. Like I feel like the cry out method, like, yeah, obviously that works, but for me, like I couldn't, so I just had to have a lot of patience and a lot of consistency. Someone asked, does he nap? And I already mentioned that. Right now, he's almost 3 and he does not nap. How old was he when he got his big boy bed? So I also mentioned that he had just turned 2, no, actually, it was when we moved here, so he was actually 2.5. He turned 2 in May, and we moved here in October, so a little over 2. And he's transitioned really, really well. I think he was definitely ready. I waited as long as possible, literally had his mattress on the floor in his crib, and he still was climbing out, so I decided to move him to a big boy bed. And it was when we were moving, so like when we moved from California, we just threw away his crib. It was all broken. He plays and goes crazy in there, so it was all broken. So we threw his crib away, and then when we moved here, he just got a big boy bed, and that was it. Like, so he didn't really have a choice. But he loved it. We put a rail on it, and made sure we had all of his stuffed animals and stuff. We put a child lock on the door, even though he doesn't even get out. But yeah, so he was like 2.5. When baby number 2 comes, will they share a room? So I'm not pregnant yet, but whenever we do decide to have another baby, they will not share a room. Weston will have his own room, and the baby will have their own room. Did you go check on him throughout the night as a baby? I'm paranoid about suffocation. Like I said, I had the video monitor, and I had nothing in his crib. I was very, very crib safe. Nothing in his crib, no pillow, no stuffed animals, until he was like a year. He finally got his blankie. Even then I was worried about it, but for the first year, he had absolutely nothing in his crib besides a fitted crib sheet and his little crib soother. So I wasn't too worried. Obviously, there's always a risk of, you know, SIDS, and it's so sad, and I always had that anxiety, but I would wake up like consciously without him crying, just to like look. but I never really like woke up and went in there just for no reason. I like my sleep. I would just make sure you have a video monitor. It literally saved me for sure. Someone said, how do you keep his room safe? So we don't have really anything in his room besides a little nightstand with his sound machine on it, and we have the cord for his camera that goes up to the wall. It's like mounted in the corner, so we hung the cord on a nail so that he can't like touch the cord. And then we put those little plugs in the outlets, like those little outlet protectors, and we put a child-proof doorknob on the inside of his room so he can't like get out in the middle of the night and go wreak havoc around the house. So yeah, that's basically what we did. He just has his bed, stuffed animals, and nothing else in his room. Okay, so someone asked, when you moved him to the bigger bed, did you use a toddler bed first or just skip? And did he get out of the bed a lot at night when you lay him down? So we never had a toddler bed. He sleeps in a queen bed. He's spoiled, but we just had it from our old house as like our guest room bed. So we just have a queen bed and we put a rail on the side and we pushed it up against the wall. So he just has that one side open. And so it's basically like a toddler bed, just a really big one. And he does not get out of his bed. He did one time, and I sternly said, Weston, get back in your bed right now. And he runs and jumps on his bed. And in the morning sometimes, if I'm taking a while to get in there, he'll kind of start creeping off, like he'll dangle his legs off, but he knows not to get out of his bed. You just have to be really stern with them. And he's a pretty good listener, so I think, you know, like I said, I'm just very, very lucky. I have a very good kid. I don't know if that's because of me or for like of the way I parent, or just I'm just super, super lucky. But yeah. Okay, I think that's all the questions that I'm gonna answer. Some of them aren't sleep related. I will do maybe like a mom Q&A if that's something that you guys would want to see. Just let me know. Just like anything about parenting or the way I parent, or you know, discipline or eating. Or I had a lot of people ask about like how he eats, if he eats the same as me, stuff like that. If you guys would want to see that, just let me know. I feel like I was really just leaning back the whole time. I should have been up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you in your future kids, and maybe you can implement in your kids that you have right now, and maybe you'll see a difference. Like I said, no guarantees, but this is just what I did for my kiddo, and thank God he's being good right now is tablet. Like I said, parenting questions. If you have questions about how long I let him on the tablet, anything like that, let me know if you guys would like to see that. I know some people are here for strictly weight loss things, but like I said, being a mom is literally my life, along with, you know, fitness, but I'm more than just my weight loss. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, so if you guys like these videos, just let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next one.